are you?
I am married to my amazing husband of 13 years. We've been together for 20 years and we have 3 amazing children. Family's always been something that's been really important to me. So I knew when I became a mom that it was just gonna be something that I instilled in my family. My mom had breast cancer. She was diagnosed at 47. It really prompted me to be proactive about my own health and being screened early. My very first mammogram, I was diagnosed with breast tissue that was dense, which actually allowed me to get an ultrasound in correlation with my mammogram, which added just that extra layer of diagnosis.
About half of women have dense breast tissue. The challenge for us as people who interpret mammograms is that cancers are white in a background of white, dense breast tissue.
It's like a snowball in a field of snow. You can have a hard time seeing it. And in fact, in the very densest breasts, mammography sensitivity is less than 50%. I mean, it means it misses at least 1 cancer out of 2.
The sensitivity is so reduced for women with dense breasts that we very much recommend screening ultrasound in addition to mammography yearly. And that's because the ultrasound can see things in a different way that the mammogram can't.
I went in for my regular mammogram. They found like a lump, but I've always had an ultrasound before, so I really didn't think anything of it when they asked to have an ultrasound done. And after the ultrasound tech left the room, I turned and looked at the screen and I could see that there was a definite mass there. I was diagnosed with triple negative invasive ductal carcinoma at the age of 37. I think the worst part of the whole diagnosis was having to tell my children that I had this. That my husband and I talked about before we ever told the kids. Sorry. That keeping their life as normal as possible was really gonna help us through.
The challenge with triple-negative breast cancers is that they lack the targets or receptors that we use to treat other breast cancers, such as estrogen receptor HER2/neu. They can run an aggressive course, and therefore it's essential that we diagnose them as early as possible.
I decided to go with Wilmot Cancer Institute because I felt like it really had the best realm of doctors and staff available for me. From the first time that I met with my oncologist, I knew that this was going to be a good fit. I first started off with a standard chemo for 4 rounds, and after that the response was amazing. We're dealing with the breast cancer that's here, but we want to make sure that it's not going to come back. We want to make sure that your life isn't going to be altered again.
One of the reasons I decided to come here to Wilmot is because it's a very cross-disciplinary program. There's people not just from medical departments or oncology, but also from engineering, physics, all kinds of areas. Well, my first real career was actually in astronomy and astrophysics, and I did that for about 20 years. At first sight, it seems like astronomy is not something that would be relevant to breast cancer research, but there are certain problems in imaging that are common to both disciplines.
Research is super important. There's so many things that change on a daily basis, and when I look at people that have had cancer over the last couple decades that I've known, sometimes the outcome isn't as positive, but you think back well, if it was in today's world, what could have happened? How could they have been treated differently?
Triple-negative breast cancers tend to be diagnosed in younger women. Younger women tend to have dense breast tissue. So having new imaging modalities that can detect triple-negative breast cancers at the earliest stage possible is really critical to improve outcome for patients.
So this is the SOFView system. We wanted to sort of eliminate the sensitivity issue with mammography, and that's what our technology does. Yeah, when you look at these images that SOFView makes, it's nothing like mammography, it's nothing like ultrasound.
The SOFView system gives us much more than a traditional ultrasound image. There's a ring of ultrasound transducers that rotate around the breast to get a 3-dimensional image, so that additional information greatly improves specificity.
So what you're really getting is really a 3-dimensional image in 3 or 4 different representations that allow you to really get a better diagnosis.
I finished my treatment in May of 2022, and that was an amazing day. Super emotional, probably the most emotional I've been through this whole thing. Everyone's like, oh, some people don't want to ring the bell, some people don't, want to do that. And I was like, I want to ring that bell. I've worked so hard to ring that bell. But I think the most emotional day for me When my surgeon called after my biopsy results came back, she called and just said, "You're cancer-free." My care team at Wilmot was fabulous, and I cannot thank you, Wilmot, enough for everything. As far as going forward, I get to. I get to move forward. I wanted this to not define our family, but refine our family. Just be better people because we went through something really kind of life-changing. I think it's really important that women go and they get these scans done early and just have some knowledge of what is there. Early detection saved my life. If I hadn't pushed, I might not be here.